Well, hey guys, what's up? What is going on out there today? Hey, Brent Abel here at WebTennis.com. Another episode of the Tennis Mindset Project. And what I've got for you today, a short message, maybe. We'll see how if I get into this or not. But this is really a big deal, and this made a huge difference for me. In terms of the title here, practice sessions require emotional control for clarity. And I used to be the worst. Man, I was just, a brat during practice sessions. If things weren't clicking on all cylinders for me, I could get good and pissed off. And I just not only made it impossible for that practice session to have any traction in terms of me becoming a better player, but it was probably miserable for that practice partner of mine as well. It was just really selfish on my part. And eventually, over time, through studying and just watching the top players practice, I realized that, uh, you know, you got to have if you're really committed to becoming a better tennis player, obviously you have to practice, right? And the way to maximize your practice sessions in terms of little improvements here and there, just day after day after day, you got to have clarity about what's going on. And clarity about what's going on starts with, well, here's my goal today in terms of here's what I want to explore. Here's what I want to tinker with. Here's what I want to see what the feels, right? Quote unquote, the feels are like if I do something different swing tech wise, if I do something different tactical wise, whatever it is. And I just think that too often what happens is, especially when we're playing points or sets or even practice matches, is we lose a point and we just get pissed off, get angry, let the emotions out. We let the whole world know that we know what we did wrong, right? We know what we did wrong. We tell everybody, and it's just that emotional outburst really fogs up what's really going on with what you just with the mistake that you just made. And that used to be my downfall in practice. That's one of the reasons it took me a long time to figure this game out, is because I wasted so much time not having real emotional control in practice. And so, look, first of all, if you believe that you're going to have to stretch yourself right to that next level, that next skill level, just to see, kind of explore, to see what that might be like, you're going to make mistakes. And that's just part of the deal. And you have to look at the word mistake in a different way, meaning that it's got to be a positive thing if you've got clarity about what just went wrong, and having some clarity about then, okay, well, here's what I need to do next time, or here's what I need to do instead. And sometimes when you actually play a shot in practice that's really exactly what you want, that's kind of stretched you to explore that new skill level. Once that happens, you've got to not lose emotional control and come in terms of, come on, baby, yeah, all this kind of garbage. You've got to have that emotional control so you got clarity about what you just did really well. And be clear on that so that you know, okay, on this one time I did it well. And look, the reality is the one time you're doing it well probably is 1 out of 10 at best, right? So don't lose that opportunity when you do something really well in practice that you're stretching your current skill level on, right? Once you do it right, don't lose emotional control. Don't be just giddy happy. Don't be the man. Simply kind of just internalize it and go, well, this is the feeling. This is what I did right on this. I need to start making this 2 out of 10 times, right? So for me, it was less about that and it was way more about when I made a mistake. And I'm just telling you, I mean, if you don't make mistakes, you'll never get better. If you stay where you currently are in terms of your comfy confines, in terms of your skill level, and you don't really stretch yourself, you don't really reach for what that next level is like, you don't take advice from someone who is right now at the skill level that you want to get to, or taking advice from someone who's been there before, spent a lot of time at that skill level that you want to get to, and absolutely knows how to think about this stuff, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, that's one of the reasons that you might be losing emotional control, is because you don't know how to accept instruction. You don't know how to accept advice, direction, right? And so to be open to that. And once you're open to advice, instruction, recommendations, obviously you have to tell yourself that, all right, well, they know something that I don't know. And I came to that realization, quite a while ago, where I realized that, hey, there are guys playing at a skill level that I'm not at. So the question I kept asking myself is, well, okay, I'm a good enough athlete. I'm just as good an athlete as they are, right? Given a nice, slow incoming ball, I've got the same good swing tech that they do. But the question that kept coming up is, what does that guy know that I don't know? And if you're not willing to ask, a player who's at that skill level, even if they blow you off, fine, then go find someone else. Most top players are not like that. They are more than wide open, more than helpful to help you get to where you want to go. And if you're paying a coach, don't just go out there and just wait for the guy to direct you, and then you kind of go, I don't know if this is really right or not. You got to start probing. You got to start asking questions. You got to open up yourself to that player who's got some real street cred, or that coach that does, and just, what do they know that you don't? You got to accept that as reality. So I got a little off course here, but I want you to realize that look, first of all, if you're practicing, whether it's a drill session, ball machine session, you're playing some practice points, maybe you're drilling, maybe you're playing a practice set, good on you. That's really good. I mean, we have to take that time to, as I said, explore what that next skill level up is from where you are right now. And when you're doing that, you're going to screw up. I mean, that's one way you could look at it, that you're screwing up. The other way to look at it is, this would be normal. To miss that shot in this situation would be normal. And rather than just kind of going, really? And then just berating yourself and letting the whole world out there know what, that you know what you did right. But in reality, there's just no learning going on in that situation. So, a little tough love today. Yeah, something I had to go through. And I had some guys come to me, and they just would shake their head and they just go, look, you're just getting in your own way here. There's no way you're going to figure this stuff out. Love your passion, Brent. Love your work ethic and all that stuff, but you're just slowing the improvement progress to almost a grinding halt every time your emotions get the better of you in practice. And so one of the things I learned too is that if I can control my emotions in practice, I can control it in a match. And that's a big deal, right? To be able to control your emotions in a match. So you've got clarity. We've talked about that recently, about, what are the three things that the top guys know? And one of them is who's doing what to whom. Strategically, tactically, who's doing what to whom, so that they're the ones who are willing to they're willing to get outside of their own head and get on the other side of the net and figure out, what is this guy hiding from me? What does he not want me to figure out? I can see his strength, so I'm going to stay away from that. The second thing is they're just willing to wait in the point long enough to be able to finally earn a low-risk offensive opportunity. They're not looking to exit the point because they don't trust themselves, right? They didn't trust themselves in practice, right? Getting all pissed off. So they don't trust themselves in the match. They're looking for the big dinger early in the point. And the third thing that you finally come to believe, and no, it's a different shirt I was wearing today, which is delayed gratification, right? You just, no matter what the score is in a match, no matter what's happening on the other side of the net over there, there comes a point where if it's a really close match, that you've just got to trust that you're going to find a way. And I think this is kind of parallels with practice as well in terms of not having emotional control. Is you make the same mistake over and over and over again on that day. It shows up again the next day. It shows up again the next week, the next month, the same mistake, right? And every time you get pissed, every time you get frustrated with that, it stops any kind of learning clarity. And that's when you don't have any belief that you're eventually going to find a way in a match. Or maybe you don't believe, I'm never really going to figure out this thing in practice. So anyway, hope this is helpful today. Look, guys, any questions, any comments, remarks, feedback down below in the comments area, let me know. Love to read that stuff down there and then respond. And yeah, it might take me a day or two. I'm, pretty busy guy these days. A lot of different projects going on, but I do get to them. And look, if you want to keep the conversation private, Brent@WebTennis.com is my email. And look, if you have not yet picked up my 4 parts between points routine, it's free. It's about a 20-minute course. I dive into what I do, very, very specific, 4 distinct step-by-step parts between points and on side changes. And look, the reality is it's an 80-20 reality, which states that 80% of the time we're on the court in a match, we're not playing points. 80% of the time, on average, is spent between points and on side changes. And if you don't manage that time really well, if you don't create clarity during that 80% of the match of how you want to start the next point, which, by the way, if you've got really crystal clear clarity when you start the next point, guess what happens? That has a residual effect in terms of carrying it over, not only the start, but also throughout the entire point. And that's the whole reason behind this between points routine, the BPR. You can get that video, free video, over at WebTennis.com. Just drop in a first name, email address, and you will get immediate access to that course. Guys, look, hope this has been helpful today for sure. If you like the video, please click the like button if you're over at YouTube, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you get so that you're just part of the deal. You're part of the Web Tennis family. And then thirdly, be sure to click the notification bell so anytime I go live and or like today when I upload pre-recorded content, you get notified. Guys, that is it for me today. Again, hope this was helpful. And let's get out there. Let's help another human being have a spectacular day, guys. See you again next time.